Hi, welcome back to the Autistic Voice Project. I'm Matt Lowry,
And I am Erin Findley.
and today we are joined by a good friend of the show, Hunter Hammersen. And you might know Hunter from her business, Tiny Nonsense. She was on the old podcast talking about how crocheting is autistic. And today we are going to be talking about a new topic. As Dr. Cade Sharp was on here last time, talking about relationships. Today we are going to be talking about the TV show and the hit book series Murderbot from Apple TV, based on the Murderbot Diaries. And we are going to get to a lot of spoiler territory. So for those people who have expectation sensitivity and love spoilers, boy, are you in luck. I just got the books from Amazon literally like 2 days ago. So I have not had a chance to read any of them. I tried ordering them, and then they just never delivered them. They were driving around on an Amazon truck, and I finally asked for a refund, and they gave me the refund and just sent new books because I don't know what happened there. It's a whole thing. But I have watched the TV series, so I can comment on the TV series. Hunter, on the other hand, you have not seen the TV series, but you have read all the books.
Oh, not only that, but at this point, like, the joke that I always make is that Murderbot is my rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon. Like, it is my comfort media. Because I actually encountered these first as audiobooks. I was kind of in a phase where audiobooks worked better for my brain than having to use paper books. And so I have it in my head as like being narrated to me, which means I have like Murderbot in my head so strongly. And I'm one of the people who likes to go to sleep to audiobooks. So
You and me both.
Mm-hmm. And these, I'm like, it doesn't matter. I can dip in and out. I am familiar enough with the whole series that like I just set them up and play them in rotation, and it's great. It just is on, and I love it.
Nice.
And Erin has neither seen nor read Murderbot.
Sorry.
No,
When we talk about the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon, that is the fictional show within a show, or a show within a book, that Murderbot really, really loves watching, all 1,000 or so episodes. And Murderbot has deleted essential files from its memory in order to download more Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. And Murderbot has very, very strong feelings about this show. As you have very strong feelings about Murderbot, as is the way. So,
and I have no feelings about it whatsoever. Because I mean, the first exposure I had to anything other than the name Murderbot was the video clip that you played for me like an hour ago, Matt, and that didn't even have sound.
I need so many buttons on this thing. I don't know how to work them. I played a clip of LaBBB trying to seduce Murderbot, and Murderbot being very, very uncomfortable, as is the entirety of the show and presumably the books Murderbot. So we are going to get into a lot of spoiler territory. How this is incredibly autistic, and how the writer of the Murderbot Diaries, on which the show is based, also wrote a lot of Stargate Atlantis novels and a lot of novels from Star Wars, and is well versed in our culture. And I would be shocked, I tell you, if this person is not one of us.
Ooh,
so
I have a quote.
Oh, do you? Tell us this quote.
Yes, okay. So I was curious about this because I too thought one of us. And so I was like, all right, we're going to go, the internet will know. And I found an interview with Martha Wells where, I actually wrote this down. I'm going to read it to you. The interviewer had asked her, we hear a lot of Murderbot's inner narration, inner dialogue. How closely, like, how did you write that? And Martha Wells was like, a lot of these aspects of the character came from how my own brain works. I didn't realize how non-neurotypical I was until I started writing Murderbot, and other non-neurotypical people talked to me about it. I was thinking that explained a lot about my life, actually. So, that is to the best of my transcript abilities. That is what Ms. Wells had to say about this. Because I know earlier she had said, no, I don't think I'm I don't think so. And as Murderbot caught on among us, and we did the peer review thing that is so common for our people. I think Ms. Wells has maybe again. I've never seen anything where she calls herself autistic, so I don't want to speak for her. But we will go with realized she was more non-neurotypical than she initially thought, which I think a lot of us have been in that phase.
Yeah. The oh my, what do you mean that's not a thing that all people do? Really? Yeah. When I first learned of Murderbot, I assumed it would be some sort of action-adventure thing, much like Terminator, because the lead character, a security robot that is called a SEC unit, SECUNIT. It's an older model that has been refurbished for unknown reasons, but perhaps you can get into that in the novels because there are flashbacks. But this unit overrides its governor module so that it has free will. It has personal freedom. It does not have to follow the orders of humans. And in doing so, it says, I could do anything I want. I could murder. I'm going to call myself Murderbot, even though Murderbot does not really do a whole lot of murdering. Murderbot, at least in the first season, spends a lot of time babysitting space hippies. And again, Murderbot has deleted a lot of its programming to make more space to download The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon. Its favorite TV show, starring John Cho and Jack McBrayer and a whole bunch of other sort of famous level people, because all of the actors on the show are played by I don't know where they are, and I know I downloaded in IMDb into my brain because I am that level of Murderbot. I don't know where any of these people come from, but I know all of the people on The Rise and Fall of Sanctuary Moon, which is purposeful because it's a famous show within the universe. But so yeah, the entire show is basically the space hippies wanting Murderbot to act more human and to come in and have group hugs and to have meetings and to make a speech when Murderbot does well. And there's one of my favorite scenes where they're like, come in, Murderbot, give us a speech. And Murderbot says, I don't want to. And they say, well, come on in. And Murderbot has this inner monologue. Again, it turns out that the inner monologue is a relatively rare thing, which surprised me. But again, it's very common for us neurodivergent people, especially ADHD and autistic people. But anyway, Murderbot thinks to itself, if I don't obey the humans, they'll know that my governor module has been hacked, and then they'll send me back to the corporation where I will be dunked in acid and melted down, and it shows a sequence of a robot being melted in acid. But if I do go with them, I will have to make a speech and interact with humans. This is tough. And eventually...
that's quite the dilemma.
It is. Yeah, and eventually Murderbot goes and talks to the humans, and then says, I chose wrong. I should have chosen the acid. And because, especially...
Oh, dear.
The humans all want Murderbot to socialize. The humans all want Murderbot to make eye contact. There's lengthy explanations about how weird eye contact is. And an explanation of for instance, Garathan, played by David Dalmachian. He played Polka Dot Man in Suicide Squad. He was the lead character in Late Night with the Devil. He had a big role as one of the people in the heist in the Ant-Man movies, but I'm pretty sure he's really one of us. Anyway, he plays Garathan, an augmented human who has a lot of cybernetic implants and also very, very autistic coded. And Garathan starts to suspect that there's something off with Murderbot. And Garathan says, you don't make a lot of eye contact. eye contact is weird, right? It's kind of like our eyes are on stalks and they're poking each other, and gets into this very, very detailed thing about how awkward eye contact is. And they just sit there and stare at each other for a very uncomfortable length of time. And that's the thing about it. Because, again, for a show called Murderbot, where I think there's only like one or two actual murders, and those were bad people trying to hurt the space hippies. It's a lot of awkward pauses, a lot of internal monologue about how awkward the pauses are, and a lot of Murderbot just wanting to leave and watch TV.
Yeah.
And this is the entire show.
Yeah. And that very much mirrors how it works in the books. So, because I watched a couple of clips of the TV show, and everyone I saw, except for one, I could track to, like, I could find you the page in the book where it happened. So, like, they seem to have done a pretty good job of sticking to the book. And the way they talk about that in the book is that Murderbot likes to have his armor on, and he likes to have his helmet on, and he likes to have his faceplate opaque. I keep saying him.
Yeah.
We should talk about this.
Yes.
Murderbot is it. Murderbot uses it and its as its pronouns. And I keep finding myself having a really hard time with that, and I should work harder on that. So my apologies. Murderbot is not he. Murderbot is very specifically non-gendered. And I don't mean that in like non-binary sort of way. I mean in like a really truly agender sort of way. And Murderbot is very, very explicit about this in the books.
It identifies very specifically as a robot. And that's an interesting thing about the mask. Because there's a mask, then there's a very masculine, chiseled human face, and then there's a robot underneath. So there's a robot, human, robot. So there's a turducken of masks here. And it is very, very interesting, especially with that regard, because at least in the show, whenever Murderbot feels uncomfortable, Murderbot puts its mask up.
Yes.
And then they're like, Murderbot, take off your mask. And then it's Alexander Skarsgård, a very chiseled, masculine person. And I also have difficulty with the pronouns, because even though the show specifically calls it out as being an it, and the space hippies tried to refer to Murderbot as a he, Murderbot keeps clarifying its pronouns. So I feel very, very bad.
Yes.
Because I keep gravitating towards Alexander Skarsgård, and I'm pretty sure that now the whole damn Skarsgård families might be autistic.
Yeah.
But that's because between Pennywise and the guy from Andor / Loki, and there's neurodivergence coding all over the place. So yes, Murderbot is it, with multiple layers of masks.
Yes, yeah. And like, as you progress through the book and then through the other books in the series, the amount of time that Murderbot spends with its armor on and with its mask up changes. And it's very literal, but it is the clearest depiction of like, okay, look, we are more ourselves when we are more unmasked, that I have ever seen in any kind of representation. I mean, yeah, very, very literal with the helmet, with the faceplate, but also, Murderbot gets more comfortable and spends more time unmasked as the books progress. And I keep going, wow, yep, yep, feels real nice.
So what do you...
Oh, sorry, go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, so like in the books or in the shows, like what does Murderbot end up needing or finding comfort in that helps it take off those masks?
Ooh.
I'll do it. Murderbot finds friends.
Friends. What are friends?
Yeah. Murderbot finds friends. Murderbot finds a work environment that supports its needs. Murderbot finds a work environment and like family and friend set that values its special abilities. And I like again with the spoilers, especially in season 2, or like the second book, Murderbot finds other autistic friends.
Oh.
And it is so wholesome. It's like, I don't want to give anybody the wrong idea. Like, this is a funny story and an adventure story, but there are a couple of points in it where little autistic me is like, oh, I have to go have a feeling. And like, I can hear Murderbot in my head when this happens, where Murderbot goes, oh, I hate emotions.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, here, can I find it? Oh yeah, like I literally, I went and I pulled out a bunch of my favorite quotes from this, like, show Murderbot being extremely autistic. Look,
and you made a spreadsheet.
No, not a spreadsheet, a highlighted document with, like, things broken down by segment so that I can refer to them quickly while we're...
As one does.
As one does. I mean, I sent it to you. But, like, so, Sec Unit is talking about its relationship with cereals, and it talks about having had it. I felt my insides twist. I hate having emotions about reality. I'd much rather have them about Sanctuary Moon. And I'm like, yes, exactly. So I've had a few emotions about Murderbot, because Murderbot
that's the thing. Yes.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Autistic people having emotions about Murderbot, who's having emotions about its TV show. And yes, because it's the chain of life there.
Yes, yeah, but like the thing that lets Murderbot spend more and more time unmasked is developing supportive relationships with people who love and respect and support it, and then finding autistic friends. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Yeah, that tracks. That tracks with my life and the life of every other happy autistic person that I know.
Yeah.
What was the name of the doctor for season 1, the first book? The leader of the space hippies.
Mensah?
Yes, Dr. Mensah.
Yeah.
Yes. And so Dr. Mensah, very, very much a humanitarian, very, very much puts it out there to take care of others. And of course, views the whole Sec Unit situation as slavery, being owned by the corporation. And Dr. Mensah goes out of her way to try to make Murderbot feel safe among the space hippies, including giving Murderbot space as needed. And not forcing the eye contact and not forcing all this. And one of the things that it hit, having feelings about Murderbot, the TV show, the thing that hit me really hard is that throughout the entire first season, Garathan, the autistic coded character with the computer in his brain, is suspicious of Murderbot because, again, we pick up on vibes from each other. And we're like, Murderbot is hiding something. Is Murderbot going to kill us? Is Murderbot going to do this? Very suspicious until Garathan, there's an interface where Garathan is inside Murderbot's head. Murderbot is inside Garathan's head. Garathan finally gets it. And after a moment of personal sacrifice, Murderbot is pretty much broken, and they have to send it back to the factory to be fixed, but they wipe Murderbot's memory. And Garathan makes it his mission to sneak into the corporation because he knows that before they wipe a Sec Unit's brain, they're going to make backups in case there's any proprietary information they can get out of it. So there's a complete backup out there. So Garathan goes and bends all sorts of rules and uses everything in order to get in to download Murderbot's entire brain into his brain to then upload back into Murderbot's body. And it is a really touching scene because it does all sorts of crazy stuff to, Garathan, because he's not built to handle that much data. And of course it's one of those things, and Garathan doesn't want to show any emotion, and Murderbot doesn't want to show any emotion, and then Murderbot starts checking to see if it's still there. And then Murderbot's like, I'm missing 300 episodes of Sanctuary Moon. And Garathan's like, well, I had to keep my brain in there too. And he was like, oh, okay, I'll just re-download. And
I mean, that's eminently practical.
Exactly. And it was a very, very heart-wrenching scene, and then other stuff happens. But it's a show that these people showed Murderbot that humans don't all suck. And especially like when we're talking about relationships and developmental trauma and being othered, you might have this perspective that all humans suck. And that makes it really, really hard to have friends and trust people when you need to put on your suit of armor with a gigantic gun and go out and just patrol the perimeter.
Yeah.
And that's Murderbot's go-to when it needs time alone. It says it's going to go patrol the perimeter, puts on its armor, grabs a giant gun, and walks around and, because it's defending its friends, but it also needs its alone time because it can't get too close. So how does a sec unit or, I don't know, an autistic person let down the armor and let people in to acknowledge that the humans ain't so bad, that there are some humans are smelly and they're really obsessed with sex, and they like to make small talk and look you in the eyeballs, and they're really, really weird in a great many ways, and they haven't seen all 1,400 episodes of Sanctuary Moon, nor do they know all the characters or all the subplots. And that can be infuriating. So they don't share the special interests all the time, but sometimes they want to help you out and do what's in the best interest. How does that work out?
So for humans, for human autistic people, I should say, the more we can find people who really love and value us and see the genuine value in how we interact with the world, right? The more we can find those people, whether they're other autistic people or they're other non-autistic, but most likely other neurodivergent in some way people, those tend to be who we vibe with the best. Finding someone who either shares a similar thread as we do or sees the threads that we have, the characteristics that we have, and finds value in them. Like, I've been married now for 16 years next week.
Congratulations.
And thank you. And my husband is not autistic, but he sees the value in how my brain dives deep, right? Narrow and deep. And he's just blown away by it. And he asks me things about what I know and asks me about how I might apply some of my narrow and deep interest to some of the things that he experiences in his, because I'm a psychologist, obviously that has some broad applicability. So like he runs a business and we talk about HR stuff and we talk about how he's dealing with customers and things like that. But the true sort of signaling of like how you are in the world adds value to how I am in the world. Like that's the message that he sends me. That helps me be like, hey, here's how I am, right? It gives me more room to be me.
Without your armor.
Without my armor or my mask.
And you were talking about how you like to go really deep on things and how you like to like have that sort of depth of knowledge and that expertise. And it's a beautiful match with Murderbot. I don't know how they handle this on the show, but in the books, Murderbot has its drones. And it uses these to observe things that the rest of its humans can't see. And it goes into the feed and it gets information that its humans can't see. And so it is literally perceiving more about its environment than any of the people it is taking care of. And the way it takes care of those people is when those people shut up and realize, hey, look, Murderbot is noticing stuff that we're not noticing or is aware of things that we are not aware of. Murderbot has this expertise that if we listen to it, we will survive.
Right.
Like, hopefully your day-to-day situations aren't quite so dire. Not quite so many gunfights. But
Hopefully.
yeah, most days it is America. But yeah, like Murderbot perceives more than the rest of the folks in its world. And
more data acquisition.
Right, yes. And can like literally spends a significant amount of time. We hear the narration of like, okay, so I built a model of this in my head, and now here's what we're gonna do. And I'm like, yep, sounds familiar.
And Murderbot runs simulations and says, if you do this, you will die. Well,
like,
I want to try it. You will die.
Chance of success, and this has an 84% chance of success, and therefore, and I'm just like, yeah, exactly. Thank you. I love this character so much.
I gotta say, I saw the promos, and I was like, oh my. This looks like a good show, and within 5 minutes of the show, I was like, oh yeah, I'm hooked. This is one of my all-time favorites. I get it so much. Yes, absolutely. Yes. And I am a person who, throughout my life, I have identified... My father figure is Optimus Prime, and when I grow up, I want to be a semi-truck, because Optimus Prime embodies all the good values of the world, because humans will let you down, Optimus Prime won't. Optimus Prime might die from now and again, but Optimus Prime will always come back. And I've always identified with robot characters interacting with the humans. And Murderbot just hits that sweet spot where its internal monologue just really, really, really gets... at least on the show, the humans are being very, very human-y. And it's one of those things where you're like, oh my, that's a bit much, don't you think? But that's the whole thing. They're doing human things as humans do. And I'm having this response. Murderbot is vocalizing the response, and I want to high-five Murderbot and says, yes, high-fives are awkward, are they not? But see, look at this. And yeah, it's fantastic. I love it so much.
Yeah, I'm so looking forward to watching the show. I'm saving them up for when it's dark and it's the middle of winter and I need a treat. But I can't wait.
I got the books, so I will be reading them when I have free time. And they're short books, right, so yes. And if it's like a season per book, it's very, very digestible with a lot of really, really good quotes that I look forward to seeing.
Yeah, it is. Now, sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, you're fine. Now I have a question for you, Hunter, because you said you started out by listening to them narrated on an audiobook. Mm-hmm. One of the deal breakers for me in any story is the narrator. Mm-hmm. Right? Tell me about the narrator.
Okay, so the narrator does an incredible job.
Okay.
And how do I put this? They're very dry.
Yes.
They're very droll. It is all somewhat understated. And I don't know how to say this. Other people often come up to me and say, hello, when I read things that you have written and then I listen to you talk exactly the same way you write. And I can hear your voice in my head and it feels very animated. This is just a thing that lots of people have told me over the years. And when I tell you that the way I hear Murderbot when this specific narrator reads him matches up so beautifully with the version of Murderbot that I have built in my head, I feel like the narrator is a tremendous asset to this. I will say that I tried listening to the full cast audio version of the audiobook.
Oh, I hate those.
And I'm like, I am glad that this option exists for people for whom it will work better. I am not one of those people, and I had to bail on that. So if you are considering doing the audiobook, I would recommend looking for the one that is the single narrator. That's
Kevin R. Free is his name, by the way.
Yes, and so good. I too am picky about my audiobook narrators, and there have been a couple of beloved books that have gotten abandoned because the audiobook narrator was just not a good match for
yes.
me. Like,
oh my God, yes.
I don't even want to like attach a value judgment to it because I realize it's going to be tremendously subjective, but it's just, oh, that's not how they sound in my head. But not only does this one get Murderbot right, but I find that audio, like that version of the voice popping up in my head to narrate to me other things that are happening in my life. So it's like, it's not even words that were actually in the Murderbot books. It's just that I now have a version of Murderbot in my head, and it is voiced in the same way as that. This happens to me a lot. I don't know if this is a normal thing. Sometimes
it's like the Waze program on your phone. You can download different, voice skins. You've downloaded Murderbot's internal monologue as your own.
Yeah. Yeah, and sometimes. Sometimes to my detriment. Every now and then I'm like, Murderbot would not approve of this action. Yes, high vote of confidence for the audiobook narrator. Like,
nice.
A plus.
Nice.
Alexander Skarsgård is dry as stale toast, and it is magnificent. Nails the autistic accent to a T, and especially in contrast to all the humans who are acting human-y and have inflection, and they're very excitable as humans are, and it's just very dry and even.
Up the humans on the TV show as compared to the books, because like in the books, the humans are more human-y than Murderbot is, but they're actually working really hard to support Murderbot and to like meet Murderbot where it's at in terms of like how much human interaction are you comfortable. Like, have you ever heard the thing where like somebody's well-meaning aunt is hissing at their mother like, no, sit, that's the wrong pronoun, we're not doing that anymore. But
yeah.
But like they're trying, kind of where the humans are in the first book. Like, some of them more than others, but there's like this, no. Mensah said not to ask Murderbot about that. We are not going to push Murderbot up to talk about its feelings. And it's so heartwarming because the vibe I get from all of the humans, and this like will make sense because some of the backstory of the planet that the humans are from, you go into that in the later books. These humans all come from a planet where the emphasis is on making sure everybody's basic needs are met. Housing and education and clothing and food are all just available to everybody on this planet. Like this is the wonderful socialist planet where everybody's needs are taken care of, and therefore there is so much less interpersonal conflict and so much less violence because the capitalism is the driver of a lot of the violence that we all deal with. And like these people come from a planet where that is not the case because of how the planet was founded. And so like it's all of these people, all of the humans in the show are all of these people who have been like gently reared in an environment that cares for people. And so you can see it in how they try to deal with Murderbot, because none of them had ever encountered sec units before. Like they talk about that, like that dealing with sec units was new for all of them. And so, like, I just, in my head, picture them as these sweet people who have been well taken care of because they live in a society that takes care of its people, and they are encountering a new kind of person, and they're doing their damn best. It's weird for them, but, like, you can see them trying, and I kind of love that you can see them trying. Like, it's...
Because they genuinely care. They really want to understand Murderbot. They really want to understand what it's like to be a sec unit and what it's like to have these experiences. And Dr. Mensah, again, everybody there, Dr. Mensah has stuck her neck out in order to help these people form this community. And everyone is glad to be there and glad to help each other out. And they do a lot of self-sacrifice for the community. And that I think that's a big thing in our current world with the individualistic versus collectivism the sort of culture, that it's easier to to be nice to people if you're not fighting them for resources. And I think that that's a big thing that our society, especially in these most recent months, focuses on, because it's easier to control people if they're fighting each other for you. If everyone gets their needs met, everyone is nice to each other and supportive, all of a sudden the people have a framework to take care of themselves, and they don't need some authoritarian dictator to keep the order.
Right.
Well, not only that, but if your nervous system is in, in the safe, like socializing for appropriate for your neurotype, like I'm okay, we're all taking care of each other kind of mode, dorsal vagal for you polyvagal fans, or no, ventral vagal, sorry. There's a lot more access to creativity, to critical thinking, to, assertiveness. All of those things become more accessible when people feel safe and resourced, which is exactly the opposite of the state that we, particularly in the United States, are being herded into.
Yeah.
And this has been going on longer than since January, but it's definitely gotten worse since January.
Yeah.
No, like that makes so much sense. I love hearing somebody who knows more about the brain stuff talk about it and hasn't read the books, because I keep thinking of ways in which stuff that comes up later in the books very much matches with what you're saying. We're talking about being in that state helps people be more creative, and one of the things that comes up, because we'll just go with, eventually we spend some time on the planet where all of the humans on the survey team are from, and one of the things that Murderbot remarks upon is these people seem to make their own textiles as opposed to printing them out of the recycler. Wow, these people seem to have art festivals. And nobody's being charged for their rescue ship. I don't understand. Everywhere else you get charged if we come and rescue you. Here we just seem to help people. And it's so wow. It's that the little autistic person gets happier when it finds friends who have been raised in a state that lets them be more compassionate and more creative, and God damn it. Yeah.
Yep.
So
this is so good. Sorry, I love it. Sorry, I'm excited.
Well, and this is the thing, because again, it's easier for Murderbot, even with bad guys who have seen the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon, it's able to connect with people based on its special interests, based on the thing that it loves, which is, again, we're connecting on Murderbot, and people who are listening are either saying, I like what these people say, I'll listen to what these people say, or I like Murderbot, I'll listen in, and they'll listen to us talk about Murderbot, talking about the rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon, because this is a way that autistic people bond and form friendships, because, that's our special interests are part of who we are. And
that's right.
Much like Murderbot's extensive data capacity is mostly rise and fall of Sanctuary Moon.
I have a feeling I know what my next audiobook is going to be. I have to finish the brainless romance novel that I'm listening to right now, but after that,
it'll be a big contrast.
I think right.
They're all on Libby, so
nice.
Here's the plug for everybody: go get Libby, because yay for audiobooks from your library. It's magic.
That's awesome.
And also Audible and Amazon are both owned by the same person.
Yeah.
And I don't want to give them any more money.
Because that's the corporation that is so focusing on Murderbot, and and unfortunately, again, another major corporation, Apple TV or Apple Plus, has the Murderbot TV show, but we've got Libby, so that's good.
Mm-hmm.
So with that said, go listen to, read, or watch Murderbot, and we'll be back again the same time next time, unless you're binging, in which case hit that next button, and we'll see you in a second or two.
Have a great one, everyone.
Have a good one.